So let's see how the Swiss do in the second game here at Alicante. And first of all, as usual, let's see who they were facing. And it was an Ottoman army. And I've really struggled with Ottomans to get a decent list out of it. I used them up in a competition in Scotland about a year and a half ago. Tried to use the Ayala elite infantry, thinking that I'd be in a medieval pool and would come up against lots of heavy infantry. They really didn't work. I couldn't get them to work with the army at all. So this is a fascinating list, completely different to what I'd expected, because based on my own experience, I thought the Ayalas, the Ghazis, whatever they're called, would be a bit rubbish and no one would take them. And I'd be fighting a textbook mobile cavalry army with a big striking force of Serbs. So what this one has got, if you can see in these three commands, there's actually not too much cavalry really. You've got the Quackapulu, the double armed ones at the top, one light horse impact elite, a couple of medium cavalry bow. That's sort of this doesn't tell you anything when it gets deployed one. There's three Serbs. I don't even think they were elite in this list, and a light foot to screen them and another impact elite there. So that's the punchy thing. And then everything is with a brilliant commander in what is kind of a two commands in one command, but one of them is your 5-6 infantry, two of the elite impetuous foot Ghazis, 3 Janissaries and a crossbow. And that's a pretty big rough terrain force. It needs a lot of rough terrain to sit in. And then another kind of copy of that Quackapulu command from the first one. So you've kind of got 2 strike cavalry, 3 Serbs, and then this big block of Ghazis and Janissaries, which gives it a very different character to the way I'd always thought of using it. So you can tell from that I was slightly wrong-footed by all of the pre-game stuff until the army was out and I saw what it was. And the thing that wrong-footed me the most, as you can see here, is this enormous amount of terrain. What I thought I wanted to do was narrow the field down. I got the waterway down, which is great. I got a wood there. I got a steep hill with a wood there. And then my opponent, Tony, a very good player, managed to drop in 2 huge patches of uneven ground, broken ground. I think we were fighting in mountains, which left a ludicrously small piece of terrain, which was good going for the Swiss. So I think this bit was about 2 or 3 bases wide. That bit was about 2 bases wide. There was 1 base here. So all the rest of it, my Swiss would just get beaten up by pretty much anything Janissary or Ayala shaped. But what I should have done really is possibly just sort of sit back and say, right, you've put that terrain down, you've completely cluttered up all the middle, your problem, you come through it. But I wasn't expecting this many infantry really, and I really wasn't. So I was sort of thinking that actually, the cavalry can't take me on in that. I can't take on the cavalry. How many of these things will there be? This lot all went down after I'd sort of committed mentally to the plan. And then I did think, look, I've got 3 of the halberdiers here. I've got another halberdier here. So if I've got pikemen who can't really be beaten here in this open ground, and then a halberdier protecting the flanks, the elite light foot, I can maybe shove a column through there, and try and fight people here, and send these 3 into here and just pin back whatever's in there in the woods as well. So it was kind of a sod it with the Swiss, we're going to attack nutty plan that really I never should have done in this terrain. In a friendly game down the club, this might have been a, guys, do we really want to play this, or are we going to dice again? But in a competition in which one of the players has got this many medium foot, it's brilliant terrain for them, so fair play. So here you can see me attempting this sort of slightly insane plan. Try and squeeze this 3 wide column just through here and see if it can engage something. Give these Ayalas too many choices. Do I want to, are they going to be tempted to come and beat up this block and try and chew over the one who's in the rough? Are they going to be tempted to come here? In which case they might have to fight in the open and I'm just going to tough it out. These guys were going to rush forward and then see if I could just push past with the pike and trigger the Serbs, and then maybe have a run at some of these other shooty troops here. They look like a couple of archers. That looks like a Janissary again. In fact, yeah, all of this is the central command. Look at that, Janissary, Ayala. There's the cavalry component, another Janissary. There's the crossbowman. Big swathe of it that fills that sort of spot, timed corner to corner. And here we go, we're into the thick of it. This is where it sort of starts to go very, very, very badly wrong. So on this side, I've not managed to push through that much, and they've just sort of faded away. The Janissaries are trying to sneak round the back, and I'm just sort of pinning and covering flanks to try and hold that. Here I've managed to just about kind of squeeze out, but still I've ended up being engaged with some troops in the rough terrain, which is a bit of a disaster as I tried to spread out, because with this big force coming here of 4 really good troops, these guys were not going to be enough to hold it really. The Ottomans have also got some javelin men who are coming in, light infantry javelin men who are attacking and beating up my supposedly elite, really good handgunners who were supposed to be holding the line there. Potentially, without these javelin men, these guys might have even fancied their chances at holding up the Janissaries, but no, that wasn't happening. And here, the bowmen, the Janissaries have come forward to shoot as well. I've extended into the rough terrain thinking, sod it, let's have a go at these medium cavalry, but they're really sort of piling into me, and you can see the hit markers coming up. I've just about sort of pushed on through. The cavalry have broken off, pulled back, but this Ayala Janissary thing has just left a big hole. It's slid across, it's done some clever stuff. This was a lot more pikemen, there ain't very many at the moment. These guys have taken a lot of shooting. It's difficult for me to come out of this terrain because then the knights will have me. But then they're sitting in it. I'm just a sitting duck for all of this shooting. So my guys are throwing themselves into combat, hoping to be very fortunate, but they're getting beaten up by Ayalas here. The Ayalas have done some damage, and this is really all going terribly wrong, as inevitably it was going to do with that awful terrain, and then the surprise of that enormous, command with the Ayalas, with the Ghazis, who I just not expected to see at all. This kind of looks like the end game. This is what the whole game felt like, really. My Swiss commander, I think that's the brilliant included commander, getting hit in the flank by the Ghazis, fighting the Janissaries to the front. He's on 3 hits. There's cavalry swarming round. I'm chasing cavalry hopelessly towards the back of the table with pikemen, but all about it is this big patch of rough which the Ottomans have just taken huge advantage of and come punched through the middle and obviously rolled up a line that was just giving itself enormous undefensible flanks, and that was it in a pretty dramatic and traumatic game for the Swiss.
This means war.